So welcome to Unplug and Be Mindful Yoga. This is yoga for strength and stability. It's a 1-hour class which is built around 12 poses that emphasize strengthening the bones, balance, mental clarity, and that's about it. This class in particular, I'm going to try to have a theme of acceptance. So accepting yourself, where you're at, that what you do is good enough. So find a comfortable place on your back. Have your knees bent, feet flat on the mat, feet like hip width apart maybe. Knees can fall together if you'd like. Nice for the lower back, a nice release. Maybe you bring a little weight into those feet and just lift your hips a little bit and let them settle right back down onto the mat. Try to keep that arch in your back. So if you tilt your hips, you can flatten that back all the way so it's flat against the mat. And then arch your back a little. Let's call that the tilt. The other was the tuck. So the tilt is when you find that arch. Maybe you exaggerate that for a moment and then tuck those hips, meaning you flatten that lumbar. And then find a space right in the middle of those two where you're exaggerating the arch and where you're flattening. A lot of us have a tendency to eliminate that lower back curve, which can throw our spine out of alignment and cause us pain. So all through the day, wherever you are, just kind of see where are you when you're sitting? Are you rolling back into your spine? Are you eliminating that nice lumbar curve? So find it again. You can take your hands down by your hips and then walk those shoulders down your back, lengthening your neck. Take a nice breath here, just settle in through the nose, out through the mouth. You can say to yourself, say, I am, ... fill in the blank, and maybe you make it something positive about yourself. Just find one word, don't think too hard, just whatever comes right into your mind. Say, I am 3 times, fill in the blank, with 3 breaths. And then take your arms out to the sides. Let them just slide all the way up towards your head, keeping the hands on the floor. You might have to move some things around you. And then bring the hands so they point straight up to the ceiling, palms face each other. And then let those arms just cross over so that each hand is kind of grasping each shoulder. Nice breath here. Nice breath out. Inhale those hands straight up to the ceiling again, palms together. You can let them come all the way out to a T so that the backs of your hands touch the floor. And then inhale those hands back up to the ceiling. Can you cross the opposite direction? Can you remember? Just do a couple more of these with breath at your pace. Just accepting yourself, giving yourself a little love. Maybe on that inhale, you're breathing in some love for yourself. And on the exhale, send out a little love to the world. Little smile to your face. Your brain doesn't know the difference whether it's a real smile or just a fake smile. Same chemicals get distributed in your body. And then when your hands next come out to the sides, just leave them on the floor. Let your hands slide down by your hips. Inhale, engage that core, bring your knees into your belly, little rock side to side. Give your back a little massage. Any direction. And then just let those knees come to stillness. Hands can sit on the knees if you like, and just make some circles with those knees in one direction. They can be parallel. They don't have to be touching. Arms can come out to the side to a T if that feels good for you. So you're just using your belly to move your legs and your breath. You're taking your time. They can be little teeny circles. They can be great big circles. But you're breathing. Don't feel self-conscious breathing. Nobody is going to get sick from your breathing. We're self-conscious about breathing now, so we really need to expand those lungs and let all the air out. When your knees come to to center, come to stillness, and then reverse direction. Using the belly. Notice if this direction feels any different. Shoulder blades are staying pinned to the mat, but the knees and the belly and the hips can move too. Neck is relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. Nice. And then when your knees come to center, come to stillness, hug that left knee into your belly, nice and tight. Give it a nice hug. Maybe feel a little stretch in that hip flexor, in the glutes. And then hold on to that right knee. Give right knee a nice hug. Release the left. Rock that right knee a little side. Quiet that leg. Inhale the left leg straight up to the ceiling. Flex, point that left foot. Notice how it feels. Quiet that foot. Make some circles in one direction with that left foot. Notice any sounds that ankle makes. Come to stillness, reverse direction on those circles. How smooth can you make those circles? And then quiet that foot, spread those toes nice and wide, and then gently curl those toes. And spread them wide. How much space can you fit in between each toe? And gently curl. Couple more. Nice. And then quiet that foot. Point the left toes so they're pointing straight up to the ceiling. Big, long inhale. And then float that left leg all the way down to the floor. If that's not comfortable when you start to get that leg all the way down to the floor, you're welcome to bend that left knee and bring that left foot flat on the floor if that feels better on your back. And give that right leg a little rock side to side. Notice that hip. How does that hip feel? Mine feels super tight. And then I forgot to mention that you should have your strap nearby. I'm looking for mine. There's mine. So take your strap into both hands. Strap goes on the bottom of that right foot. Try to give yourself as much length on the strap so that maybe your forearms actually rest on the floor because your leg is doing the work, not the arms. You can walk those shoulders down your back, release the neck, and just extend that leg a little bit and then draw it back to center towards the ceiling. Do a couple of those, just back and forth. So all it is extending long a little bit, keeping that foot flexed, and then back up towards the ceiling with breath. You can do one more time. So the leg's doing the work, not the strap. And then when your leg comes to center, come to stillness. Feel that leg settle into the hip. This is one of our exercises that we're going to hold. So both feet are flexed. Both legs are active and engaged. You're breathing that right leg straight up to the ceiling, but you're not locking any joints, so neither knee is locked. Breathe. And we're going to hold for 10. This is active the entire time you're holding it. 9, 8, 7, 6, little smile to your face. 5, 4, 3, we're exerting force on the top of that femur, on that, into the hip. 3, 2, and 1. Come out anytime you need to. Just relax that leg now. So No effort in that right leg. Just let it go right, left a little bit. You're just keeping the strap on. Little movement. And then come to center, come to stillness. Take both sides of the strap with the right hand. Let the left sit on that left hip because you want to keep that left hip grounded onto the mat. We're going to just make this dynamic a couple times. So we will open out to the right a little bit and then exhale that leg back to center. Again, try to use your belly to move your leg, not the strap. So let's just do a few of these. Try to make it last the length of your breath. You want to keep both hip bones grounded. So that means you can only come out so far. Once you come out too far, you'll feel that left hip is going to lift. And then the next time you come out to the right, you're going to stay right. You're going to keep both feet flexed and active. Both legs are active. No knees are locked. So there's a soft micro bend in both legs. You're inhaling and extending that right leg nice and long. And on an exhale, imagine you're drawing those toes up towards your head like the hand of a clock. You're breathing. It's a lot of work on those legs. You're exerting force in a totally different direction on that hip, strengthening that hip bone, making that bone denser, strengthening the muscles. For 10, 9, neck is relaxed, head is relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. 8, 7, 6, 5, smile to your face. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then inhale that leg back to center. You can take both sides of the strap with both hands and just bend the knee. Keep the strap on the foot. Little side to side. Just releasing the effort. Nice. And then inhale the legs straight up to the ceiling. Take both sides of the strap with the left hand. Right arm can come out to a T or to goalpost. Inhale, right leg straight up to the ceiling. We'll make this dynamic too. So exhale the leg over for a twist towards the left. And then inhale back to center. So this time both shoulder blades, you're going to go back and forth. Both shoulder blades stay pinned to the mat. Your right hip is going to lift, and that's fine. You're not locking that left knee, and you're not locking the right knee either. Belly, obliques, they're moving your leg. So the slower you go, the more challenging it'll be, and the more you'll use muscle rather than momentum. The more you'll use your core to move your body. The stronger your core is, and the more aware you are of your core, the better your balance will be, the better your power, self-acceptance. And then when you next come over to the left, stay there. So you are flexing both feet. You're extending that right leg nice and long. You're feeling a stretch all along the side of that leg, maybe your waist. Both shoulder blades are pinned to the floor. Head can look up to the ceiling. You can look towards that extended leg, or you can try looking away towards the right to see what feels nice on your neck. And we're breathing. On the inhale, you're thinking longer on that leg, and on an exhale, you're thinking maybe you can draw those toes up a little bit towards your head. You won't see any difference. It's more of an isometric kind of movement. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then inhale, right leg back to center. You can take that strap off your foot. You can bring that right leg into your belly. Give it a hug. Rock it side, side. And then bend that left knee and just take that right ankle and set it right below that left knee, sorry. Reach into that inner thigh. So left hand comes to inner thigh, right hand comes to outer thigh, that right leg, and try to rotate that leg open just a little bit more. So you're actually turning that. It's kind of like an inner spiral. And maybe you lift that left foot off the mat, maybe, for a little stretch on that glutes. Little rock side to side. And maybe you come to stillness and then extend left leg straight up to the ceiling if that feels good for you. Don't lock out any joints. Take a couple breaths here. This is nice to do against a wall as well. You bring that left foot flat against a wall. And depending how close you are to the wall, it will affect how much of a stretch you get. And then bend that left knee, bring the left foot back down to the floor, engaging that core. Extend that right foot straight up to the ceiling, and then let that right foot just float back down to the floor all the way down. Extend both legs long. Let those legs roll in and out, finding that kind of an inner spiral when you roll the legs in, and when you let the feet roll out, that's more your outer spiral. Notice how that feels on your hips. And then quiet those legs, bend both knees, feet come flat on the mat. If you want to just kind of check your alignment, maybe when you bring your hands down to your hips, fingertips touch the heels, maybe. Feet are about hip width apart. And if that doesn't work for you, you find your alignment that works for your body. Not everybody is the same. Breath here. And then bring some weight into the feet. We're going to lift our hips, our middle back, and our upper back. And the hands can come along with it. So they come straight up to the ceiling and then overhead to the floor. And on your exhale, bring everything back down, long spine. Inhale, lift everything, hands come up, long spine with the hips, engaging that core. And then belly button to spine. Exhale, bring everything back down to the floor. Let's do 2 more of these. Take your time. Make the movement match your breath. No tension in the head, neck, or shoulders. Weight in the feet, lifting you up. Long spine. And then when you next come up, we're going to stay up and hold. This is another one of our positions to help strengthen our spine. So you can stay with your arms flat on the mat. You can come out anytime you need to. Weight is evenly distributed on your feet. You're lifting those hips up long. On an inhale, you're thinking of lift. On an exhale, you're thinking lengthening from your shoulders to your knees, finding space between each vertebrae. And if you'd like, you can bend those elbows and have just the fingers pointing straight up to the ceiling so your arms are at kind of a 90 degree if that feels good. Or if it's in your practice, you can interlace your fingers, roll the backs of the arms underneath your torso, and find some opening on your chest. Chin is tucked, don't look right or left if possible. Breathe for 10, 9, make this super active, strengthening that back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then unroll those arms, bring them back down by your sides. Exhale that spine all the way back down to the floor. You can widen those feet mat width apart and then just let those knees slide right and left. Just drop. Yep. Release that lower back. And then when your knees come to center, come to stillness, walk those feet so they're hip width apart. Engage the core, belly button to spine. Bring those knees into your belly. Give yourself a little hug, a little rock, side to side. And then come to stillness. Hug that left knee into your belly. Extend right leg straight up to the ceiling. Flex, point that right foot. Notice how that feels. The front of your leg and the back of your leg. And then make some circles with that foot. Give your ankle a little love. That's definitely a joint that we don't pay much attention to. And there's a lot of little moving parts. When you're ready, reverse direction on your circles. Nice. And then come to stillness with that foot. Spread those toes. How much space can you find between each toe? And then gently curl the toes. Giving those toes some oxygen to those muscles helps them keep good shape. And then just come to stillness with that foot. Point the toe. Inhale that right leg nice and long. And then exhale right leg using the belly to let it float all the way down to the floor. And when it gets to the floor, if it's not comfortable, you can just bend that right knee and have that right foot flat on the mat rather than extend it, if that's better for your body. Left knee, rock, side to side. Notice that hip. Does it feel different, right, left? Any tightness? Nice. And then find your strap. Put it on the bottom of your left foot. And inhale, left leg straight up to the ceiling. Just feel that left leg settle into that hip joint. Take a nice breath. And then let that left leg extend out a little towards that other foot. And then breathe that left leg back up to the ceiling. Don't lock out any joints. Just back and forth. So the leg and the belly are doing the work, not the strap. You're exhaling as you draw it towards you. Inhale away. Feel like it's a little bit of a crunch, a belly crunch. And then the next time that leg comes towards the ceiling, stay there. Flex both feet. Don't lock out either knee. Just on an inhale, feel like that leg is extending long towards the ceiling isometrically. And then on the exhale, those toes kind of draw to that to the wall behind your head. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep those legs active. Shoulders are relaxed. Back of the arms can be right on the mat. Breathing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then just bend that knee, relax that leg, relax the effort. Little side. Nice. And then inhale that leg straight up to the ceiling. Take both sides of the strap with the left hand. Let the right hand just sit on your right hip, making sure that right hip stays grounded. And we're just going to dynamically move for a little bit. So we're going to inhale that leg open to the left, and then exhale back to center. And again, try not to use the strap. Try to use the belly, the breath, taking your time. Notice how that feels. The inhale can be the open, and then the exhale can draw that leg back to center. Feel that chest expand. Nice. And then the next time you open, stay open with that left leg. If you feel that right hip start to pop up, just back off a little bit. So you're inhaling left leg long, and then you're exhaling those toes up towards your head or towards that ceiling, towards the wall behind your head. You're breathing. Again, both hips are grounded evenly. Shoulders are relaxed, neck is relaxed for 10, 9. Both legs are super active, but no joints are locked. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then breathe that left leg back to center. Bend the knee. Release the effort. Breathe. Nice. And then extend that left leg straight up to the ceiling. Take both sides of the strap with the right hand. Let the left come out to a T or to goalpost, left hand, left arm. We're going to inhale, left leg straight up to the ceiling, and then extend, twist over towards the right. We're going to do a few of these back and forth. So you're exhaling actually up to the ceiling and over, and then inhale back up. find your way, whatever feels better with your breath. And then when you next come over to the right with that leg for that twist, stay there. Keep both shoulder blades grounded evenly. You're inhaling that left leg long. Exhale, those toes feel like they're coming up towards your head or towards that wall behind your head. No joints are locked, both knees are soft, shoulders are relaxed. That left hip will come off the mat, and that's okay. For 10, 9, both legs are super active. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then inhale that leg back to center. Bend that knee. You can release the strap off of that foot. Draw that left knee into your belly. Give it a little hug, little side. Should feel nice. And then bend that right knee. Bring the right foot flat on the mat. Left ankle could sit right below your right knee for that figure 4. You can reach in with the right hand to the inner thigh and then left hand to the outer thigh and then roll the outer thigh away, inner thigh toward you. Almost like you're turning your thigh, that bone. Better to do that than just to shove that leg open. Better to rotate in that ball and socket joint to find more space. And then you can stay right here, or you could take that right foot off the floor, thread your hands through your thigh or through the front of the calf. Little rock side to side. Should feel nice. Breathe. You can extend that right leg straight up to the ceiling if that feels good. You can flex point, right foot. Feel that opening in the hip. And then bend that right knee, bring right foot flat on the mat again. Draw that left knee into your belly, give it another hug. Engage the core, bring both legs into your belly, little rock side to side. And then bring those feet flat on the mat, keep the knees bent. Shift those hips over to the left a little bit and then roll onto your belly. Hands come underneath. You can switch to, if your head is away from me, you can rotate so that you're facing me. There you go. Sorry, got everybody turned around. Hands can come right under your forehead. Just rock those hips side to side a little bit. And then just come to stillness with those hips. Bring those hands right under your shoulders. Forearms and arms come in towards your sides, nice and close. Tops of the feet press into the mat, lifting up the knees a little bit. Press into your hips. And actually, the first time, we're actually going to lift our hands off the floor. Lift your shoulders and your head, that's it. So this is small, but you should feel it in your back. And it should not feel bad, it should feel good. And then back down. Let's do 2 more of these. So inhale up. Exhale down. So you're pushing into your hips, engaging that core, shoulders slide down your back, and then come back down slowly. So hands are now on the floor. Let's do a baby cobra. So fingers are spread nice and wide, elbows come into your side. Turn those hands just a little bit so that maybe your index finger is what's pointing forward, not your middle finger. And then bring some weight into those hands, push into the hips, slide the shoulders down your back. Chin is tucked. And then exhale back down. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can keep doing those baby cobras. Should not feel any compression in that lower back, so you don't come up too high. You're taking your time. Maybe 1 more. Nice. And then bring those hands underneath your forehead. Bend the knees. Let your feet just kind of slide right and left to release that lower back. Nice. And then come to stillness with those feet. Let the feet come all the way down to the floor. I'm going to give you options for your hands in this pose. So your hands can start down by your hips, maybe about 6 or 8 inches away from you, palms face down, chin is tucked. We're going to push into our hips and keep everything, the whole top half of your body is going to stay on the floor. Just lift your feet, but keep those legs parallel. And then let those feet come back down to the floor. And let the feet stay on the floor. We're going to push into our hips, draw our belly button to our spine, lift the hands, the chest, and the head. Slide the shoulders down the back. And then everything comes down and just let those hips kind of rotate. Maybe you turn your chin to the side. Turn your head to the side. And then head comes back, forehead comes back to the floor if you can do that. We're going to engage the core, belly button to spine, push into the hips, lift the feet, lift the hands, lift the chest and the head. Now you can come out of this pose anytime you want to. But this is another one we hold for 20 seconds. Try not to come up too high if you feel any compression in that lower spine. Chin is tucked. You're breathing. Again, you can come out anytime you want to. Maybe your hands come out to the sides, or maybe they even come extended biceps to ears, palms facing each other. You find your place for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, strengthening those vertebrae, strengthening the back, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then hands can come back to your sides and then underneath your forehead. Let everything come down, bend the knees again, rock those feet side to side, releasing that back. And then let those legs come to stillness, bring those feet down to the floor. And just feel your whole body against the ground, against the floor. Feeling grounded, feeling supported. This is another nice pose for self-acceptance. I have no idea why, but it feels good. I think because it's comforting, I don't know. It's kind of an introspective pose. And then bring your hands under your shoulders, engage the core, bring some weight into those hands, and then come up to a table. So hands, wrists are underneath shoulders, knees are underneath hips. Just do a little side on those hips. Maybe shoulder to hip on one side and then the other. Nice. And then we're going to drop the belly on an inhale, the chest and the head comes up last. And then draw that belly button to your spine. On the exhale, drawing that back up and the head comes down last. So make it like a wave. As you drop that belly, you let air come into those lungs. And then as you bring that belly button into the spine, you let it push all the air out. Maybe you even come back a little bit to stretch out a different part of the back. When you come forward, you keep that back curved till you come back to center, and then you let it drop again. Fingers should be spread nice and wide. Nice. And then let that spine come to stillness. We're going to curl those toes under and then drop the belly and maybe come back with the hips a little bit and then draw those hips up nice and slow to a down dog. You can pedal by straightening one leg and bending the other knee. Find some stretch in those arches, in those feet. Heels don't come down to the mat. You're just trying to draw your hips back and your chest, your belly to your thighs. And then I like to cross my feet, so I do like a little X. And I walk up to the front of the mat, and then my feet become parallel. Maybe you find your blocks, which I should have told you to have towards the front of your mat. Knees are bent a whole big bunch when you're in a forward fold to protect your lower back. So my belly is to my thighs. My feet are about hip width apart. Inhale, halfway up, long spine, maintaining that lumbar curve. Exhale, belly back to thighs. And then sit back a little bit, bring weight into more of the back of your foot to the heel. Arms come out to the side, push into those feet. Keep that arch of the back, protecting your back to standing. Maybe a little baby back bend, but it's long, it's lengthening. And then hands can slide to heart center, to prayer. And I'm going to face you for this. So actually, I'll stay here for this one. So step back with your left foot. Right foot is forward, right knee is bent. So I'm not on the same track either. This back foot is out to the left just a little bit. So not so much like that, more out a little bit. So there's space, yeah, perfect.
Better for balance too. Oh, you're not as like in a straight
My
line.
hips are facing the front wall.
Yeah, like that.
There you go. So that back foot has to be more of a 45. If you have the back foot at a 90 and you try to turn, you
like
torque
this,
that knee.
You probably want to put your toes to like 10 o'clock.
You know what? Point those toes towards the front of your mat, the front corner. There you go.
Okay.
That's perfect. Do you feel a difference in your leg?
Yeah.
Yeah. So really important. Knees are really important.
Yeah.
So inhale those arms straight up overhead. Wiggle those fingers. Breathe to your warrior one. And then hands come to heart center. Straighten that front leg, but don't lock it. Can you bend without flattening the back? So we're pushing those hips back, keeping a little bit of curve on that lumbar spine. Hands to heart center. You're going to bring that left hand to right knee, right hand to right hip, and then twist. We're opening out to that right side. You're breathing. So the front leg is straight but not locked. It's a reverse triangle for 10. 9. You are engaging those legs. You are so strong, so balanced. If a big wind came by, you would stay there. 5, 4, 3, 2. Try not to push out your hip either way. 1. And then hands come to heart center. Untwist. Can you fold? Hands come to blocks. Just step that back foot in so it's on the same line, and we're just going to find a little pyramid pose. So right hip comes back, left hip comes forward a little bit. Don't lock out any joints. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, back down. And then bend that front knee, bring those blocks maybe to that lower setting, and then let that left foot slide back. Yep, so you're in a low lunge. I like to have my blocks right by my heels, and I let my fingers kind of hang down. It feels better. Really engage those legs for a moment. Feel how strong you are. Feel like your hands are doing nothing, that the legs are supporting you. And then come up a little bit on that back foot and turn that back foot so it's at a 90 now. And then you bring your right hand to right leg. Left arm sweeps up and around, and now your hips are facing the side wall. And that's why your foot can be at a 90. So your hips are facing that way. Yep, yep. Front knee is bent, but you look over your front hand. That's it, warrior 2. So engage those legs, and if you feel like your stance is too wide, shorten it a little bit, but your knee should never be over the ankle. Your front knee can be right over it or behind it a little bit, but never like that. You put too much stress on the patella, and you're perfect. Flip those palms, let the shoulders slide down, and then bring those hands back, wiggle those fingers, breathe, engage those legs super strong, like you are sending roots into the ground. This is another one of the poses that we hold for 10, 9, smile to that face, 8, 7, you're balanced, you're strong. Ideally, the heel matches up with the arch of your foot, so here you are kind of on a single track if you can. If not, don't worry about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And without changing your legs, just reach up with that right hand, with the left hand just slide down your leg. Breathe here, back to center. And then bend that right elbow. Let the right elbow either rest on the right knee, maybe you hold on to the calf. I like to hold on to the calf because it opens me up. Left hand can set on left hip. You can let that left hand come up to the ceiling, or maybe bicep to ear, but you are trying to open up. You're not compressing or crushing that underside. It's more important to find length and strength in these legs. And we hold for 10. And again, you come out anytime you need to, but if we want to build that bone, we need to hold it for about 20 seconds. Or 9, 8. So I talk for about 10, and then I count. 8, 7, 6, smile to that face. 8, so you're thinking long and opening. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then like someone's lifting that left hand up. Use your core, your obliques to lift you up. Reverse again. Nice stretch, opposite side. Back to center. Extend that front leg, maybe shorten that stance a little. I need to. Hands come out to the side. Both legs are extended now. You're going to push those hips back. You're reaching to the same direction you were before. When you can't reach anymore, let those thumbs up, pinkies down. Let that right hand come down to right leg. Left hand reaches straight up. Again, you are not compressing this underside. You're trying to lengthen both sides. Engage those legs, super strong. You can look down to the floor. You can look to the side wall. Some people look up to their hand, but that cranks my neck. And you're breathing, and you're engaging those legs. Again, like you are shooting roots into the ground, but you're not, don't grip those toes. Toes are relaxed. For 10, 9. So on an inhale, imagine you're getting taller and longer. On an exhale, maybe you're coming down a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, smile to your face, 2, and 1. And then like someone's lifting up that left hand back up to center. Reverse that triangle. Breathe. And then back to center. Hands come to hips. Turn that right foot so it's parallel to the left. And then toes can come out, heels come in a little bit. Hands come to heart center. Sit back a little bit and then bend those knees. And then inhale yourself back up. Bend the knees. Breathe as you're doing it. Toes do not grip the mat. In fact, you could lift those toes. Maybe you try that. Can you hold your balance? Whoops. And then, there I go. The next time you come down, just hold it for 5, 4, you're centered. Spine is nice and tall. 3, 2, and 1. Then arms come out to your sides. Inhale all the way up. Hands slide down to heart center. And then I'm going to turn you around so you'll be facing the opposite direction, but you're going to listen to my words. So turn your left foot so it's turned in at a 45. Sorry, I'm going to do my rights and my lefts wrong. Right foot turns into the 45. Left foot is going to be facing the back of your mat, I think. Yep.
We're going to do the other side. Oh.
And then walk that right foot a little closer. Keep that.
Switch this way. So
Okay, that sounds smart. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
So right foot kind of points,
Yeah. That's what we need to do.
right toes on the back kind of point to that front corner of your mat, the back foot.
Oh,
Yep,
Yeah.
very good. Front knee bends. Inhale those hands up to the ceiling for your warrior one on the opposite side. Find some height, find some length, maybe a little back bend. And then hands come to heart center. Oh, sorry, we need our blocks. You have your blocks. If you don't have your blocks, bring them with you. I need them. And then hands are at heart center. Extend that front leg, but don't lock it. And then bend at the waist, hinge at the waist. And then you can bring your right hand to left knee or left leg. Left hand can come to left hip. You're engaging those legs super strong. You're breathing, you're lengthening your spine. On an inhale, on an exhale, you're finding a little bit more twist. super strong, super balanced. Breathing for your reverse triangle for 10, 9, 8, smile to your face, 7, 6, neck is relaxed, shoulders are relaxed, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then hands come to heart center, come back to center, bend, hinge at the hips, stretch yourself out a little for a pyramid. So left hip comes back, right hips come forward. Don't lock any joints, knees are not locked. Fold as low as you can, gently. And then inhale halfway up. And then you can lower those blocks maybe to that lower pose. Bend the front knee, slide that right leg back. Legs are in two different kind of like two different lanes. Thank you. Feel that. So your left hip comes back, right hip comes forward. Feel that nice opening on that hip flexor. Breathe. Feel like the legs are strong. The legs are supporting you. You could lift your hands maybe. Maybe you try to lift your hands up. And then turn that back foot. So the back foot is parallel to the back of the mat, front knee is bent. Left hand can come to left knee, right hand can sweep all the way up, keeping that front knee bent. Front knee is either over or behind that ankle. Flip the palms, let those shoulders slide down your back, and then flip them back. Look over your middle finger. Hips are facing that side wall. You're breathing, you're engaging those legs, super, super strong. This is another self-acceptance, self-power pose for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then actually keep that knee bent and just reverse that warrior. And then back to center. Reach forward as far as you can go. And then bend that front elbow. And that left hand comes to left knee. Right hand can sit on right hip. Or it can reach up to the ceiling. Or it can come bicep to ear. You listen to your body and what feels right. So you are trying to open out your heart. Lift up and over. You're trying not to compress either side. Legs are super, super strong. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And like someone is lifting that top arm, come back to center. Reverse that warrior again. Find that nice stretch, opposite direction. And then breathe yourself back to center. Extend that front leg. Hands can come to hips. Maybe you shorten that stance a little bit. Hands come back out. Front leg is now extended but not locked. Thumb up, pinky down. Push those hips back. Reach to the side. When you can't reach anymore, let that left hand come to left leg. Right hand reaches up to the ceiling. You're breathing. You're long on both sides. Don't lock out your knees. Toes could be lifted here too. You can look down to the floor if that's easier, especially if it's easier on the neck. For 10, 9, 8, smile to that face. 7, 6, can you lift those toes? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then back to center. Hands come to prayer. Turn those left toes, so your toes are now parallel, feet are now parallel. Walk your feet back into center. And you can stand and face me if you want, and just slide right and left. Just distribute that weight, one side, the other. And you're welcome to come to a wall here if you'd like for balance. We're going to do a tree. So you can bring your weight to that right foot. Left toes can just come to the mat. You're going to sit back a little bit. This standing leg is soft, not locked, which makes it harder but better. Try not to push out in this hip. And if you'd like to, you could just lift that foot and you will get work on that hip. Or you can bring that foot open. You can have that toe on the floor. You can have it on the calf. Sometimes it's easier just to have it kind of out. My balance is not great. And we're going to try to hold for 10, 9, 8, come in and out, come to a wall, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then knee to center, and then back to the floor, and then just shift your weight side to side. Breathe. Breathe those arms up to the ceiling, and then back down to center. One more time, hands come down, all the way up, and then hands come to center. And then feet come back to about hip width apart. Maybe you roll forward and back a little. And then come to stillness. Bring the weight now into your left foot. Right toes will come to the mat. Sit back and down. Breathe. And I'm going to come to a wall here because I have some foot issues. So come back, sit back. That leg can just come up, can open up. Maybe it comes to the floor. Maybe it comes to your calf. Some people can bring it to their inner thigh. If I'm holding against a wall, I can. But I mean anywhere but the knee. So breathe. Hands can stay at heart center. They can come up. Wherever you find your balance, stay there. Breathe. Feel tall and long on the inhale. Grounded on the exhale for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then knee comes forward with control, and then back down to the floor. And then just shift your weight side to side, maybe a little twist. Nice. And then just come to stillness. Inhale those arms up to center. Exhale, fold forward, soft knees, big bend, belly to thighs. Inhale, halfway up, nice long spine. And then exhale back down, bend the knees, come all the way down to seated. I'm going to use my pad. Breathe. You can extend that right leg out in front of you and hug that. No, sorry, I'm going to mirror you. Extend your right leg in front of you. Is that what I just said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You were right.
Look at me.
You were right.
Hug that left knee in. Little rock side side. Try to get a nice tall spine. If you cannot get a nice tall spine here, feel free to lift your hips up a little bit. And sometimes it enables you to do it better. Because what we're going to do is cross the left foot over the right. We want that left foot flat if possible. We don't want to lock this bottom leg either. So you're going to, yep, that's it. We're going to inhale those arms straight up to the ceiling. Get nice and tall. On your next exhale, just exhale, twist over to the left. So you're holding on, it's right arm to left knee. Left hand comes right by your hip to help you, tented fingers to get a nice tall spine. Shoulders, slide down your back. If it's easier, yeah, come to the outside. There you go. Most important is that you have a nice tall spine. Shoulders are down your back. Chin is tucked. Neck is nice and long and relaxed. Breathe for 10, 9. Think on an inhale, think long, tall. On an exhale, maybe you can find a twist at the waist. 7, 6, 5. Smile to your face. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then inhale yourself back to center, arms to center. You can stay in this twist, or if you want, you can bring your hands back down by your hips, sit back a little bit. Bend that extended leg in towards your hip. If that doesn't work, do the exact same twist we had with the extended leg. So what we're trying to do here again is keep that left foot flat on the mat if possible. Lifting your hips gives you much more space and allows you to find that twist because you want both Sits bones sitting evenly. You want even weight here. We're going to inhale those arms straight up to the ceiling, nice and tall. Exhale over to the right. Again, same exact twist. Oh, did I tell? Oh, to the left. Sorry. You guys are listening to me, but I'm telling you wrong. Inhale over to the left, ladies. I told you wrong. You did right, though. Excellent. Sorry. Feel that. So you may feel a stronger stretch in that left hip. Breathing, center that ground both sits bones, even weight, nice and tall on the inhale, a little bit more of a twist on the exhale. Breathe for 10, 9, smile to your face, 8, 7, 6, 5. Try to keep your head on the same plane as your chest rather than cranking your neck over to the left. 4, 3, shoulders slide down your back, 2, and 1. And then breathe yourself back to center. Hands come down by your hips. Uncross your legs. Find a nice wide stretch here with your legs. Straddle. Keep your hands down by your hips and just find that nice long spine, tall spine, and maybe you can come forward hinging at the hips. You're not curving your back. You're keeping a nice tall spine, chest lifted. Breathe. Maybe your hands come to your calves, knees are soft. And then hands come back by your hips, bend the knees, extend left foot in front of you, bend that right knee in, give that right knee a little hug. Again, you can lift your hips if that feels better. And then cross right foot over left, right foot as flat if possible. You're going to inhale those hands straight up to the ceiling, nice and tall. Wiggle those fingers. Turn towards that right knee, and then left hand can come to right knee. Right fingertips tented can come by that right hip to keep your spine nice and tall. Chin is tucked, neck is nice and long. You're breathing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then inhale back to center. Again, you can repeat this same exact twist, or you can let those hands come down by your hips, sit back a little, draw that left foot, left heel in towards that right hip, maybe. Center those hips. Maybe you give that right knee a little bit of a hug so you can get that right foot flat on the mat. Inhale those hands straight up to the ceiling, nice and tall. Wiggle those beautiful fingers. Turn towards that right knee and then twist over. So left hand comes to right knee. Right fingertips are tented. You're finding that tall, tall spine. Shoulders slide down the back. Neck is nice and long. Chin is either parallel to the floor or tucked a little bit. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. And then arms come back to center. Let those hands come down by your hips. Sit back a little. Extend those legs out in front of you. This time your legs can be together. Knees can be soft. It's even nice sometimes to take a little pillow under those knees. And then walk your belly forward, chest lifted. And find a little stretch, forward fold here. Forward folds are also nice for self-acceptance. Probably same reason, that it's introspective. You're kind of folding into yourself. Breathe. No pressure on that lower back or middle back. Only go as far as is comfortable for you. Nice. And then walk yourself back up. You can take that pillow out from under your legs. And we're just going to come down onto our backs. Keep your knees bent. Maybe draw those knees gently into your belly with a little rock side to side. Let the feet come back down to the mat width apart, and just let them slide right and left gently. When they next come over to the right, let them stay and find a little twist here. Maybe your right hand sits on that right leg, right knee. Breathe. Let go. One more breath here. And then breathe those knees back to the ceiling, and then exhale them over to the left and let them stay here. Maybe that left hand gently sits on that left knee. Breathe. Nice. And then take that hand off that knee if you have it there. Let the knees come back to center. Engage the core. Bring those knees back into your belly. Little rock side to side. Hands can stay out in that T position if you'd like. And then hands come to knees. Give yourself a big hug. Hug that left knee into your belly. Extend the right leg straight up to the ceiling. Breathe the right leg long. Exhale that right leg all the way down to the floor. And then inhale, left leg straight up to the ceiling. And let the left leg float down, engaging that core all the way down to the floor. Maybe you extend your arms overhead on the floor, legs are extended long. Find a nice end-to-end stretch. Maybe you do right hand, right leg stretch away from each other. And then left hand, left foot. And then just relax and let those arms slide on the floor all the way down to your hips. Walk those shoulders down your back. Let the palms face up or down, depending on what feels good for you. Legs can just kind of splay open. And just feel your body on the ground. Notice if your back has flattened out or if you can find just a little bit of that lumbar curve. Breathe. Feel the mat under your heels, your calves, your thighs, your hips. Feel your back relax, kind of melt into the ground, your shoulders. Both arms and hands relax. Back of the head, maybe you let your head slide right and left a little. Release. Let that face relax. Eyes are soft. Forehead relaxes. Top of the head relaxes. And just let go. And in a few minutes, my voice will bring you back. Maybe before you let go all the way, just think of that saying, that sentence you said to yourself, I am ... Say it to yourself as if you already feel this. And say it 3 times. And then begin to bring a little awareness back to your breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Wiggle those fingers gently. Gently wiggle those toes. Maybe flex, point your feet. And then engage that core, bend the knees, bring the feet flat on the mat. And then engage that core again. Bring those knees into your belly and give yourself a big hug. Little rock side to side. When you're ready, if you want to keep your eyes closed, you can roll over onto your right side. Fit into that fetal position, keeping the knees bent. You can bring that bottom hand underneath your head. Top hand can just rest on the floor in front of you. Again, say something nice to yourself, something accepting. You are perfect just where you are. And then when you're ready, bring some weight into that hand that's in front of your chest. Push yourself up to seated, maybe keeping those eyes closed. Come into a comfortable seat and bring your hands together at your heart center. You can join our voices to close our practice to the sound of Om. So take a big inhale. Om. Little smile to your face. We bring our hands together to prayer. We bow to each other with respect. And we say, Namaste. Namaste. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you very much.